All right, so this is vlog 111, and I titled it, I believe, Pausing the CBN, I believe. I just have something going on in the next, I want to say, I think I counted like around 11 to 12 days, 13 days or something. And I just don't feel like dealing with or reliving any of my reality on the vlog because I already have to live it, and then every time I go through this I have to re-explain it, and it's just like reliving everything, right? So it's just more stress. This is, again, I have to reiterate, this is why I do this probably once a week or like once in a week and a half. So um this is kind of like 111. This vlog is just kind of going to be a little collage of some of the things that are occurring. But what I did was I made sure not to just talk. I wanted to make sure that I actually have like pictures and stuff. And so I had developed these pictures at one of the local CBS because I was using it as evidence in the court. And this is what I developed at the CBS, and I'm going to go over these in a second, and then tell the story about them. Okay. And then in the description on the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network, I put a reference about video, and actually it's vlog 44 on my live segments. And vast majority of my channel is on the live segment because I already explained before that I just don't like rendering or editing too much because there's a third party that's always waiting for me to consolidate my evidence, and then they'll erase it. So I'll consolidate the evidence and then they'll erase it. And they're always watching over all of my electronics, making sure that it doesn't come to materialize. And they're going through my phone and erasing text messages. They're erasing specific messages within a collage of messages, and they're picking and choosing what they want, and they're preparing for something, basically legally, for legal matters. And so they want to take things out that are potentially inculpatory, and then they want to make sure that I don't have the firepower, if you will. And so they have spent the last over 10 years removing evidence as I collect it. Anything that is associated with my phone, anything associated with my laptop, anything and everything that has Wi-Fi capability or internet connectivity has been tampered with and has been rummaged through. And there's spoliation of evidence that is rampant to the point in which basically I have very little information between the years of 2014 and the years about 2022. 2021 maybe. I have very little information because every time I came to a point where I was going to pro se file and pursue litigation, every time I would bring the lawsuit up to pinnacle of filing, they wait for me to gather all of my work, and then they'll go through and erase that whole thing. So they'll wait for me to type everything up, and then they'll erase it. The evidence, the dates, the times, the people, everything, the photos, the videos, everything. Okay. So this is what I'm dealing with. Okay. And they did that every single time. Every time I did it, every year they were going through multiple phones that I went through. They were going through the memo pad on that particular Android. And every time I would notate something, they would go through. And if I had times, if I had dates, if I had people, they would erase it. Okay. And then whenever I go to get prepared to file and I'm doing like self-learning, self-taught, pro se litigation, every time I start bringing in pictures and I bring in all of my evidence, they'll wait for me to consolidate that into a file or a few files. Then they'll go through and just erase everything that's inculpatory. So then you don't have anything to prove. And I have a federal case going on right now, and the clerk of the judge, every time I called multiple times last year, and I call, I think, once this year. And every single time I call and check on what's going on, he never has an answer. Never has an answer for me. Okay. So this is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. This is a vlog and a documentary of my reality, which has been COINTELPRO program, which is the umbrella term for clandestine type of work operation, if you will, campaign that is basically cyber stalking, and they're using electronic warfare because we know it's electronic because it has accuracy and precision, and we know it's technology again because it has accuracy and precision. Um, and their main weapon has been infiltration of all electronics and managing and controlling all of your electronics. Since high school, I have my email has always been hacked. I can never clear my inbox and make it correct. That's been an ongoing thing my entire adult life. My emails have never been able to just function. My main emails have never functioned by the like just normal, like I can't clear out the inbox. The numbers are always staying bold, like it's new. I can never clear it out. It's always a problem. Every single email that I've made has always been a problem. Okay. Every phone that I've had has always been a problem. Okay. So let's just get into this information before I leave for a couple of weeks. And there's going to be a bunch of events that's going to occur between now and that time in a couple of weeks. Okay. So with that being said, I'm just going to do my best to document like I always do. And I'm going to just do my best to make sure that I have something to bring back to the channel. And I believe in last episode 110, I was discussing the track that was inserted in the playlist while I was listening to that playlist, which I believe was a gym playlist that had a mixture of EDM and funk. And that song, which I believe "Leave Me Alone" by Little Rem or Reem, was inserted today. And then whenever I left, they knew they were going to use a white SUV campaign and stalk me. And they're keeping you under duress at all times. Okay, that's what this is about. Your life, they have kept you under duress your entire adult life since 2014, 2013, essentially by keeping these things following you at all times, everywhere you go. Okay. So I put a link of the song, I believe, in 110's description box. I put a link in there so you can listen to the song. And I believe I was referencing the fact that in 109, I had left in 109, I believe A or 109. I left by saying, leave, I'm not into, homosexuality and stay the hell away from me type thing, basically leave me alone. And then they taunt you by sending that track in today while I was lifting and doing legs. And then they decided that after that track played, that they would cut the music off completely. Okay. And when I say cut it off, it's not like they paused it or anything. It's like literally they just backed out of the app. And that's what they do is they control your apps in your phone. And they're using the variants of Pegasus, right? Because Pegasus was kind of the mother and kind of the origin of the other subsequent softwares and weapons that they're using. And now there's like different versions of Pegasus that have come out, and then there's other types of similar type of software that's similar to Pegasus. There's like 3 or 4 other ones now. I forgot the name. I had them written down, but I have to bring the names up. So today I did some studying, and I was just kind of laying low, if you will, this Saturday. And I did a vlog, and I'm studying one of my medical books, and the book has CPT written on it. And I had taken just some time out while I think I was eating or something. and I was doing like some drag racing on one of these little Android app games. And the thing is I told you in the past that what they'll do is they'll put a character that you're playing. If you're playing like a multiplayer, like you're just kind of trying to chill, there's no time, there's no place for you to really have a peace of mind, because they're putting your character in a server, and the server has the other players dressed, okay, or they have them titled, like their name tags and their avatars titled, okay, either alphabetically or alphanumerically, to abuse you, okay, and they'll use their names and their gamer tags and their avatar tags, and they'll put things on there to reflect what you're doing in your personal space. Okay, so real time, for example, I was studying this book, it had CPT on it, and I've never seen any type of acronym like that anywhere else, right? And so they have, let me see if I could bring this in here. There we go. Let me see if I could. And so basically, let me just bring it to the side and then try to zoom in. Here we go. So I'm just playing, and then you get challenged, right? It's called CSR too. Have the light on. There we go. There you go. So you can see right there. And I have screenshots of other things. And of course, what color vehicle is it? Yeah, it's a red vehicle. Okay. And so basically, there's always this campaign of people using that bright horseshoe is the actual light on the camera. I turned it on. I guess I could turn it off. I could try to. But anyways, long story short, you could see that the car and the title of it, of the acronym, is CPT. Okay, CPT. Okay, and I played games since I was like 12, probably younger than that. Matter of fact, at least 3, I started to play Super Mario. Okay, and there ain't been any acronyms like that. And so since I was playing that today, what they're doing is they're inserting on the server and always attacking you psychologically in all of the games that you play. And again, this is facilitated by any type of device with a Wi-Fi capability or an internet connectivity. Okay, every single device, your Xbox, your PlayStation, and they're always inserting things. And when they're trying to beat you down in this program, I noticed, like if they're trying to beat you down psychologically, they'll make sure to use wall hacks and all the cheat codes, basically, especially in first-person shooters. And they'll make sure that you get last. But all your adult life, you've been good at first-person shooters, but all of a sudden you realize that they're hitting you with every shot. And when you shoot, your rounds may not even register, okay, when you hit them. And then when you watch them on replays and stuff, you'll see that they're never missing any of their rounds, and they have bots, auto aim, basically. Okay, and so they'll beat you down even in the multiplayer games, and they'll deliberately put you in servers and have those players in your team deliberately have attire that matches with the people wearing that same attire in your reality. So when you go to the gym or the store or the gas station, or you go to a doctor's appointment or wherever it is in the public space, whatever is out there, they're going to reflect it back in your server of your game. And this is what happened today. I was playing playing CRS2, and I was studying a CPT book. Okay. And I've never seen anybody's gamer tag with CPT. I've played so many games in my life, and especially multiplayer games, from Call of Duty to Battlefield to Halo, and no one had CPT on it. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. And I was actually, let's see, what day was that? 2 days ago, I was talking to a DJ that I keep up with, and he was down and out about 7 years ago. And I was encouraging him, and I sent him a few words. And his theme of music is kind of instrumental classic with some synthwave EDM. And after talking to him, I received a message from a female, and she made sure that all of her pictures had kind of like this synthwave galactic type picture profiles. And that's kind of his theme as well, kind of like astronaut, if you will. And so the next day, within, we're talking like probably 15 hours after I woke up, this is 15 hours later, I get less than that actually. I get this message in my chat box from this girl, right? And she's got this intergalactic theme going on with her whole profile. Okay. And these women will start reflecting back how you feel. So if you feel a certain way about relationships now, and you feel a certain way about dating because you really haven't participated in a really long time, then they'll start feeding on your perception, and they'll start feeding on how you feel about that by reflecting the same feelings. And then what they'll do is they'll give you attention, but their intent is to give you just enough attention and then to ignore you, or then to ghost you. And it's just nonstop narcissistic predation of your soul, basically. Okay. My birthday is coming up. And last year I was I was training with regional paramedics. And I remember I took a photo of me in a helicopter. And that was on my 35th birthday. Okay. And they made sure that on my 35th birthday that they sent me home. Okay. They made sure that there was witness harassment and fabricated abuse by patient family, and making sure that the medic that I was with and the partner was a part of that abuse and harassment. And so they ended up sending me home. At the same time, I was working as a nurse, doing some nursing stuff, nursing aid technically. And I was taking care of a guy, and I always sit around certain sections of his bedroom. And I actually, it's really just one section technically. And you get in a routine, make sure that things are dressed right, dressed in the morning time, and you make sure that you're doing your checks and balances with your workload. And usually there's furniture that they allow you to sit in. And whenever I was sent home from regional, I recall that they always had these red shirts. Okay, so regional paramedic, they have these red shirts. And whenever I got sent home, I still had to work my nursing job. And this home never had any of this red furniture around, or any of this like stuff that I'm getting ready to show you. Not blatantly out like this. Like there wasn't stuff laying around. And so what they're doing is they're keeping tabs on what's going on, and they're communicating with each other. And then they're using semantics by just merely, instead of talking about it when you go to the next job, they'll just take inanimate objects and lay them around and make the connection. And they'll make fun of you and harass you and abuse you at the work setting after the event. After the defamation and the smearing, you're then going to go and be abused and harassed further at the next workplace. That's not even associated with what happened or the activities that occurred at the other workplace. So we have an EMS job and then you have a nursing job, but they're keeping up and keeping tabs with each other and making sure to use inanimate objects to send the message about your abuse and then abuse you further by using those objects, making you touch the objects, making you sit by the objects, and keeping those objects within your intimate or personal space. And so I took a picture of this, and usually this is the chair that I sit in. And this chair right here doesn't usually have this this little pillow. This footrest was there because he had some stuff going on. This wasn't ever there. And there was some other things, I think, on the dresser. But the day that I was sent home, the following day I had to work. And when I came to work, they made sure to put all of these items in this area and then make me move this out of the way so I could sit after going through the McCarthy tactics and the defamation at regional. Okay. And I took a picture of this because this was near it too. So technically it was these three things. Okay. And they had thrown the shirt in proximity. Okay. So they made sure that they had these red things around because regional paramedics wears red shirts. And so regional has this white and red deal. You're training in white and then you're working in red. Okay. And so they're using this as semantics of abuse at the nursing place. This is what I'm talking about. So then they say, well, let's get them dressed, right? You're doing your morning routines. And then the patient's wife makes sure that the closet is arranged in a fashion so when you enter it, what they want you to see is always centered. Okay? What's always centered there for you to see. So they center the red shirt, the regional paramedic shirt, knowing that I just went through McCarthy tactics and narcissism, okay, by witness harassment, okay? And so they made sure that the red shirt was centered so that it's directly in your line of sight. And this is what I'm talking about with the abuse and the harassment in the nursing place, okay? And so when you arrived after your confrontation and the issues that you had, the immoral and unethical issues that arose, and then you went home during your birthday and didn't come back, right? And then they made sure that when you showed up to the next shift, okay, that you had to move the red items out of the way so you could sit down and do work. You had to move them out of the way, physically touch them. Okay, this was regional paramedics. And it doesn't matter. The nursing place really doesn't matter because it's more about where I was dispatched that matters the most. So it doesn't even matter if I mention where I was working there in nursing. It's more about the person that I'm working with, that I'm nursing, essentially. This next series of photos is Shoals ambulance. And the reason why I'm showing this is because I'm just fed up with the control and the narcissism. And if I'm going to be controlled and I'm going to be under narcissistic control, then I might as well share the narcissistic control. If they've got a problem with that, then we can litigate and then they can explain why they have a problem seeing the reflection of their abuse. So at the time, after leaving regional, okay, and separating from them, which I believe I actually have recorded some of the issues that I had occurred. And I had a meeting with like HR and Prater, I believe. Okay. And so you could hear that technically on my vlog. And I forgot which one that was. Maybe in the 70s somewhere. Maybe. I'm thinking. But it actually has it on there, on the title. So you can check that out on the CBN. This is a photo of me entering Shoals. Their common quarters in the kitchen. And they had thrown out the trash. And then they had someone throw in some guacamole dip. At the time, I was purchasing guacamole dip regularly from Walmart. And so this is them mocking my purchases of the guacamole dip, okay, when I went there for training. And so they threw out this full trash can, and then they had someone come up there and then throw the guacamole dip in there. So that's like the only item that you see. And so, let me see here. I had to actually take a closer photo, but yeah, that's the only thing that's in the trash can, the guacamole dip. So they're taking the things that you like, the things that you don't like, and then they're making sure they mock you. Okay. And I've been doing EMS for years. Nobody's really doing guacamole dip. So I mean, that kind of goes against them. I mean, I spent 2.5 years doing EMS in Illinois, you know, and I was doing like 48 to 72 hour shifts straight. Okay. And been doing EMS at this point for another, I don't know, 7 years or something like that. So the thing is why would this be going on whenever I'm having favoritism in making regular purchases of guac dip? Also, I'm making my own personal guac dip at the house with avocados. Okay. So then I had all these problems working there, and they were setting you up with all of these issues, the like the contaminated stuff, and they would get you on shift, and then they would lay all of this stuff out. They would have needle boxes stacked up, and then you would have to go and stop, you know, and make sure that that was appropriate. And they had everything in the back of the ambulance as wrong as possible. Okay. Everything and everything you can think of, right? So bloodied gauze, dirty portables, like literally dust covered portables, like you could just stacks of dirt and grime all over the stuff, all over like the surfaces. And when you go to talk to somebody or start cleaning up, Mr. Canterbury would go and be aggressive with you, like, come on, let's go. We don't got time for that. You know, and I got all of this on video and audio or whatever. And whenever you're doing something, they're always trying to minimize and antagonize at all times. Minimize and antagonize at all times. And then what you have is the HR lady calling you up like after, I think it was like 4 shifts total, telling you that you're doing all this stuff wrong. And this is how it works is they'll go in and create an atmosphere of a bunch of wrong stuff. And then what they'll do is they will use the McCarthy tactics and tell you that you don't belong there and you're doing all this unprofessional stuff. The reality of it is you're not. And then whenever you confront someone about it, which I think it was Franklin or something, you can hear his response, and he tries to just dip over the main points of your concerns. And everything is just all about undermining and sabotaging and subverting the things that you do. Nothing you say is right. Nothing you say carries weight. It's about disarming your conversations and minimizing things and just doing whatever you can to make somebody destitute and oppressed. And then the other piece on that day was, I remember one of the first shifts, it was like every patient was a problem. Like I remember we had 4 or 5 patients one day, And it was like every single patient was an issue. And then on top of that, Mr. Canterbury made sure that even though I was training to document like the company wanted me to, he was making sure to document opposite of that. Okay. And then the patients would do stuff like ask me why I wasn't telling their name over the intercom. Like I would call them the pre-arrival communications to the ER, and I would give them the report, and then I would hang up, and the patient, while the supervisor is in the back, the FTO is in the back with me, the patient will challenge me and confront me and be like, "Why didn't you tell them my name?" Like that. Like I'm supposed to tell them over the radio, which you're not. And she'll challenge me. Then you have the next patient try to give you a $5 bill in the middle of the ER. And the whole time they're just doing whatever it takes. And then the next patient, what was the next patient's deal? The next patient's deal was the IVs. And I told the supervisor, the FTO, that I don't like the particular style because of the bumps and everything. Sure enough, we get a bump. And it has this little button that's like a little, basically it's like a real sensitive button. You hit that thing, and what happens is it goes, it sucks in the whole catheter and the needle, right? And it backs it up just enough. And I told them ahead of time, I said, I don't like these. What happens? Something problematic happens, procedural problem. I told you, I don't like them, and this is why I don't like them. What happens? Exactly what I said. Next day, they were off the ambulance. And so the thing is just like every single thing that you do, it doesn't matter what you say. They don't care. Okay, they don't care. You seen that this morning on 110, okay, with the whole white SUV deal. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be taking a break from all of this, thank God, because I don't like to always vlog like I have been, but it's I think it's a necessary evil because it needs to be documented and the truth needs to be told. The other thing is I decided not to do multiple lawsuits because that's just a problem. And I should be able to put things on the ongoing component. And the other thing is, I forgot two other things. Number one, let me write this down real quick so I don't forget. Actually, I won't forget. Number one, after 108 and 109, I believe 109 and 109A, we talked about what they're doing in the gym. The next time I went, which is literally the next day, which was 2 days ago, I believe. Was it 2 days ago? Maybe 2 days ago. 3 days ago, maybe. We talked about the intimidation thing and the whole relational component and what they're doing with the women and what they're doing with the men and using that whole proxemics deal. And what they'll do is they'll take a bunch of big, tall guys that are taller. I'm 5'8", and I've always maintained the appropriate like BMI right around 24, basically. So I'm always in that like 152, and at my peak I was 170. But I like to keep it like just regular. I don't like to be in a caloric excess because I believe in longevity and the wear and tear and oxidative stress. And so all the bulking and all that excess eating is a problem for longevity. So I've always maintained a proper, like a really good weight, and I haven't really exceeded that 160 plus. After college, I tried to stay around there. The problem was the higher you go in weight, the higher your blood pressure. And I realized that every time I go to that 160 plus, my blood pressure is in that pre-hypertensive or too hypertensive stage now because the AHA has switched up the guidelines. But long story short, I noticed as the weight increases, so does your heart rate. Hence why big bodybuilders, you don't ever see them sprinting because they have a heart attack and they're not worth a damn aerobically. Okay. Their heart and their breathing tells you that. And this is exactly why I don't put on a bunch of weight. Okay. And your blood pressure is everything when it comes to your longevity down the road. And so, long story short, I make sure that I stay at a certain size, and that's the healthy size. But these guys will always be around, these bigger guys. And the morning after 109, I was around the cable machines again. And all of a sudden, this group of guys comes in. And it was almost like, I don't know if they were like the SWAT team. I don't know who they were, but it was a bunch of guys that were like in their like 40s to 50s. But they're all like bigger guys, like like Freddie Flintstone guys, a little bit. And then some of them were taller. But I was sitting there doing a exercise, and I'm got my headphones on, and I'm just minding my business. All of a sudden, I hear a guy yelling, "Hey, hey, hey!" Okay, like that behind me. And I go to turn take my ear, like turn my earbud and then take it out. And I do this number. He goes, "Hey, you using this?" And it's always this this inappropriate dialogue. Like, we could yell at you, we could do whatever we want to do. And it's just like, dude, like, just enough's enough, man. Right? And what they'll try to do is they'll try to get you to talk. And they'll try, "Hey, how's it going?" And what they're always trying to do is just trying to get you to talk. And what they'll do is they'll get away from you, right? They'll do is they'll take the crowd and they'll get away from you and give you all this space. Like, your mind's kind of clear, you're just going about your business. Then what they'll do is they took the crowd and these guys, these bigger dudes, and they brought them all in near you. And then you have the guy going, "Hey, hey," yelling at you. And their sole purpose is to introduce you to stress or some way, shape, or fashion, and get you to leave your little handles again, right? And they're always trying to find ways to get you to fuck up, whatever it takes. And here's the thing, and I've been talking about this a lot, which is this whole influence piece. And I learned and started feeling it around my teenage years. And it's not the fact that, I want to make this real clear. It's not the fact that, and I've been through it for a decade now. It's not, it used to be the fact that it was going on and I was kind of like feeding off of it a little bit way back when, but I've been going through it for over a decade, and it got old after the first few months of it. And I realized it, which was a decade plus ago. But at this stage in the game, when I'm describing it, it's not that it's necessarily influencing you anymore. It's more the fact that it is there. It's present, right? The simple fact that, number one, you're told that people are trying to destroy and trash your life. And number two, you recognize it through objective evidence, like observational evidence, right? Obviously. And then you can fact check it with statistics and happenstance and probability. It's just the fact that it's there that is just as annoying, okay, that you have to go through it. And they're always trying to criminalize you every time you do something. Every time you go somewhere, what they're doing is they're taking the things that you like and they're laying things around in public places, right? And they're always trying to criminalize you, impress you with their verbal techniques, intimidate you in this case. Hey, all this yelling that this guy did, he had no reason to do that. Caucasian dude, stocky, okay, about probably 5'7", and just stocky, right? Looked like Freddie Flintstone, except with like a blondish hair. And then what happens is they'll play off of it. They'll have their buddies look at each other. And when they look at each other and give like that whole eye contact thing, and they'll make like some faces, they'll make sure that they only do that when you're facing towards them. Okay. And they won't do it immediately. They'll wait for you to go somewhere, come back, and then they'll wait to make sure that your angle is appropriate. Then they'll make the face with each other. Like, Okay, and they're always running this acting game in this fabricated game, and you don't respond to it anymore. You don't even respond. You never responded to it in the past, really. It's just the fact that it's happening, and they expect you, and they try to force you to respond to it. They literally act it so that they can control you purposely. They're using narcissism to control you. That's the problem, okay, with this whole piece. Like, just like the women, they're coming in, they're acting like they're interested, and then they're not interested in talking to you at all. Okay, they'll say, "Hey, how's it going? How's your day going?" They'll like reflect some empathy or something, and then after you give a response, they won't respond back. That's how it goes. "Hey, how's it going? Hey, you have beautiful eyes. How's it going?" You just literally write one sentence, and they make sure not to respond. They may even also unmatch you or remove you from their messages. Okay. And the thing about the whole women in the personal space and then the atmosphere is it gets so old that you already know what they're on. Like, you know what their purpose is. Their sole purpose is to be around you, right? So that they can abuse you. And it just becomes, and it's no longer like what it used to be. And it doesn't give you the same feelings that it used to years ago. Now it's just like you feel blah, and you're just like, God damn, like, when's it gonna stop? Like, I know what you're up to. It's like having an alcoholic father, I can imagine. You just know what their behavior is, you know what they're doing, been there, done that. You got every t-shirt imaginable from it, okay, from every tactic, from everything that they've used on you. Because you're just literally like a human punching bag. You're a human pincushion to every tactic that they have, every little tool that they can bring up and conceptualize in their psychosocial tool belt, in their arsenal, they've used against you. Now you just walk in a public place and it's just like, what's pressure anymore? What is psychological pressure anymore? Doesn't mean anything to me. I've literally seen it as hot as the sun. I've seen it as cold as the North Pole. Anything in between is just a day for me. And it's almost, it's like, it's disgusting because these are the same people who are quote unquote church goers. You got ministers who are abusing me and I'm taking care of them, right? These are all people who swear up and down they're churchgoers and they believe in God in the same face, okay? They're just feeding off of you and abusing you, making sure that you're stocked 24/7, 365, okay? Then the last thing, because I said two things, I want to write it down. Last thing is that I was recently invited to go to a program, another medical program. And once that correspondence dropped in my inbox, and I went to the gym, and they'll do this a lot. And I was also out in the living room. Once that correspondence came through, they want you to move forward. So what do? They make sure to send these women in your chat box. How's it going? Right? And they make sure that they give you all this space all of a sudden in the gym. They stop the harassment. All this space is around. There's no color coordination, frequency harassment going on. All of a sudden, you can just walk in the gym free of abuse, just do whatever you want to do without having this mental complex as you go from point A to point B because you have to be intercepted by a bunch of thugs, okay, in the gym. You start relaxing at the house, you're reading, and occasionally you just want to like chill for a second. You do some little drag racing here and there, and all of a sudden you're winning every drag race. You're unstoppable, right? They do this, they've been doing that for years. They've been controlling your mental state through this. They'll let you win, and when they want to piss you off and aggravate you, they'll make sure that they're just beating the snot out of you using grid hacks, wall hacks, and whatever they can conceptually conceive on the server to beat you to a pulp. And they'll just cheat to whatever degree possible. Never miss a bullet in FPS. Hit you every time from 1,000 yards away with the AR. Not miss a fucking bullet. Okay? Or when they want you to go forward and make that decision to go forward into this program, take out a loan, then all of a sudden everybody's nice, everybody letting you win. In the gym, you get all this space all of a sudden. All this, the guy that was aggravating you the day before, he's way in the back, making sure that he's on the cable machine, way in the back, not even near you. Okay. One of the guys, because there was another guy too. And they're just constantly using mind control on you. Just whatever the fuck it takes. Okay. And you feel like you're a living, breathing X-Man. Okay. And technically, I feel like I am. You're treated like an animal. You're treated like a mutant. Okay. And you have your histologists, pathologists, and healthcare providers hiding your blood test, okay, about anything that you may have. And they're making sure to not disclose any of that. And they're lying about the histology, okay? And at the same time, they're abusing you, okay, over the things that they put you through. This is how the whole narcissism works. And they use semantics while they abuse you. Okay? Just like the white SUVs on the way home today. Say enough's enough. Stay the hell away from me. What do I get in return in the next 48 hours? I get a brand new track making a mockery of my situation and making sure that when I return on the way home, I have dozens of white SUVs follow me. The same behavior that led me into hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, okay, out of school and into a criminal record, right? Thrown around by the police and tased, right? So this is vlog 111. And I'm going to be out for a couple weeks. I really just don't feel like documenting anything until after my exam. And honestly, I don't want to be around this vlog during my birthday because I'd like to enjoy my birthday. It's been quite a few years since I've had an enjoyable birthday. Last year, I was abused at regional paramedics. And again, I'm sacrificing my time, energy, and competence to do the right things. And then whenever I'm there personally and physically to accomplish that, they're making sure to do all the wrong things and abuse me in any which shape, form, and capacity. Yell, scream, and make sure that, again, you're financially destitute, that you're isolated, that you have these McCarthy tactics and you're painted as something that you're not, and you live with this. Meanwhile, you're being stalked and all these other problems that they start to slap all over you. So this is why we left EMS, because I don't deal with that type of stuff anymore. So this is going to conclude 111.